Pogba leaving for Rashford. He strikes. Oh, it's a goal! Staying on his feet this time. On the way for Martial. Lovely touch by Fernandez. Cavani! Rashford all the way across goal. What a finish!
Welcome everybody and welcome to All in All United. Manchester Derby. And I have a question to ask all before we get into it, right? All you think the derby mean to City what it used to mean to them before? Or it's just like a walk in the park? It's like a normal game for Manchester City now. This derby is like, alright, well, whatever, we just go and play Stoke. Anyway, how we going, fellas? How we going?
Hey, now that I talk about your Sancho goal, you know what I mean? I think was a quality goal, you know. Good night, all. Good night. I know definitely we got shock up our viewers tonight. You know, when United lose, and when we lose in the manner we lose, you know. I agree. It's just like another game for City to roll over. There's some games that I feeling like I shouldn't watch United play at the moment. When they play in City, we just shouldn't watch it. Just look for the score maybe at the end of the game or get little notifications on your phone. Pop, pop. City score. Pop, pop. City score. Right? And you just say to yourself, well, that's expected. You know? So no surprises now. But to put yourself through the pain of sitting and watching those performances, shit, that can't be good for your soul, buddy. That's me, I think soul wrenching. Anyway, yeah.
Up.
Phil?
Man United for Lent. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how much more people on that same train with you. Phil?
Yeah, good night. I'm so glad that game played on a Sunday because most people weekends end on a Sunday, right? I It's just another game for Man City. It's another training cone session, right? The way how some people were gassing up this derby, I was like, are we watching the same Man United this season? Oh, but Big Phil, it's the Manchester Derby. Form goes out the window. No. Form continues. Because we were absolute shit today. And Manchester City just lifted up a notch. Just turned up a notch today. Right? It was a walk in the park today, man. Walk on the
You know,
beach.
walk in the park, watch that first goal, and just click, boom, goal. You know, no urgency. It's just like, yeah, let me score the first one in the first 5 minutes. And let me just take with time and do. We're rushing it. Let me just take with time and score the first goal in the first 5 minutes.
At the end of the day, I already had set my expectations low coming into this fixture, right? So there was no fuming or anger from me when the final whistle blew. It was like, cool. I predicted the 3-1, but VAR and Riyad Mahrez had other plans, right? And it ended 4-1. So yeah, let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, let me just get some comments here. So Simeon on the inside, thanks for joining, buddy. Saying good night. A man asked if United does train. I said I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, and he said that he'll see pictures, but you just don't know, right? Devendra, thanks for joining, man. Good night to you too. If all you want to see good football today, watch this link. Rooney have Derby playing football. Watch what this man have championship players playing. If them play Man United is licks. Right? John Paul, thanks for joining, man. You reach. Nice. Wasn't expecting much, but geez, no doubt. David Curtin, thanks for joining, man. Good night to you too. They've just saying Man City played with us after 3-1. It was embarrassing to watch that second half. Yeah, no doubt. So earlier, now, for a club, our size, and our history, we are so far behind.
Yeah,
It's a
laughing
shame.
stock.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not only talking about, the light years behind Manchester City we are. I'm talking about how far behind we are in the evolution of modern day football in terms of structure, the hierarchy, management, philosophy, direction, execution of plans, if we have plans, and all these things show by simply looking at how we play. It is embarrassing. We play the same way we'll play against City, we'll play the same way against Watford. Right? Now, all you know that Man City have now completed 4 EPL doubles over us. 4 EPL doubles.
That not surprise you? Let me real. Why is it a surprise?
So the way
No,
the way
but
the way
That
the
is
way the
not
way
a
Reem
surprise.
the way Reem talking, he expect us to like be like, whoa, oh my god.
no, but the thing about it is, what I'm saying, right, is that mean they would have had to come at Old Trafford over the last 4 years and beat us. Where we pride, I just try to get
surprise.
up pride. Where we pride is, where
But
that gone.
still, I have a question mark over that. Because the game when Smalling and Pogba would have won us the Manchester Derby, that was within 4 years because that was at
No,
Oli
you're
was
checking it.
coaching.
You're checking it wrong. Oli wasn't
Okay,
coaching
alright,
when
alright.
Smalling scored. That was Mourinho.
That's Mourinho, yes,
That was
yes, that's
Sanchez
Mourinho.
days,
But still, that was within 4 years.
Oli was there for 3. And this season,
But still,
check it.
That was 2018, no? Or 2017?
17, 18.
That's when we stopped City from celebrating the
yeah.
victory over. That's when we stopped City from celebrating the or clinching the EPL at their ground. I think, yeah.
So with all the statistics, right? I had asked before, I don't know if this derby is a big thing for City anymore because today, the stats, they had 26 shots. And anybody want to guess how much Man United shots had? How much shots we had? 5.
So much?
5.
I was expecting about 3.
There's 5 shots in the entire game.
Yeah, 5 shots entire game.
Oh,
26.
okay, yeah.
26 for City and 5 for Man United over 90 minutes. So, I mean, they just always say the stats don't lie, but sometimes, they say the stats don't lie, but then sometimes it'll be different when you watch the game. But the stats is completely accurate. I'm going to get some comments before we go into team sheets, right? Because we want to talk about Ronaldo and stuff like that, right? Yes, I got that. Simeon saying here, McTominay kicked some men at the end, so we have to respect that. Yeah, passion. Yeah, physicality. Yeah, grab the badge, come off the field dirty. Yeah, rubbish. Simeon saying the board saying next year for sure. Yeah. It's always next year. John Paul saying, I was telling some brethren today we had to accept that we are rubbish. Yeah. We have to give a manager time. Things so bad, I was even saying in retrospect we should have given Moyes.
No, but even if, right,
I know.
even if, as Reem was saying before, even if we give our manager 20 years without a proper structure, without a philosophy, without the, well, I don't even want to say financial backing, because maybe I might be wrong in terms of that, but without a proper structure, then we will continue to fail for 20 years. We just be killing ourselves and hoping, and I wonder if we can make a top 4 this year, and we just stumble into results, stumble into performances, and that's how the club being run. That's why we stumbling all over the place. So it's not down to the manager. The time for that manager thing going.
Yeah, because so much managers pass through and all of them fail. So the problem can't be that.
Yeah.
And
then on top of it, they're setting up Ralf to fail. I don't know Ralf is my boy, but they set up Ralf to fail. Right?
Yeah.
If we know there are deficiencies in the team, we want to make the top 4. I'm sure Ralf have identified where we needed to strengthen. And we just do nothing in the January transfer window. And the players who are sure he'd have brought in would have been players we needed anyway. Come on. Set up the man to fail.
Yeah, definitely. Christian, why Matic didn't start? I don't think it's a personnel issue, you know. I really do think it's a personal Matic could have started, and I don't see any
Will
difference
make
in
a
what.
difference.
Yeah,
Can you make a
I don't think
difference?
it's gonna make a difference. But anyway, we'll still go into the
Ronaldo
players.
in prime will not make a difference.
Yeah.
I know
So
we'll get
let me
there.
just get these comments here and then we'll get into team sheets, right, guys? They've just saying here, Ralph press conference is like he don't know his time over. I was telling all that, and the real
Really?
situation at the club, listen to how his press conferences started with hope, you know, to now where he don't know how to defend the club again, and that was so glaring in his pre-match press conference Friday. Nah, that didn't look good. Ralph running out of, you know, any kind of good feelings toward this club, in my opinion. Right? Dwayne
Agreed.
say, hey, good night, Dwayne. Just rush him to listen to some therapy. Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, boy.
yeah. Just glad you're
We
here.
in,
Glad you're here.
yeah, he say we in deep triple
Deep,
D.
deep doo-doo.
So, fellas, now, you know, one of the most talked about decisions or occurrences would have been the omission of Ronaldo for such a big game, right? As well as Varane, Luke Shaw, and Edinson Cavani. But before we go into Ronaldo, let me just throw up here, you know, a very telling comment from Ralph in the press conference as it relates to Edinson Cavani. Right? Edinson Cavani trained for the entire week. But this is what Ralph had to say here. As a manager, I cannot force a player to play if he doesn't feel fit enough or well enough to play. Right? So, you know, it's like the reporter was trying to go in on with his situation with Cavani, and Ralph was like, wait, I can't force a player to play. Right? And if you watch the press conference, you will see the body language, and you'll get the feeling that it really annoying that you don't have access to players, you know, especially the ones that you beg to stay now. You know? No, because Cavani trained for the entire week. So we were expecting at least Cavani would have been an option today. Right? Anyway, team sheets, guys.
What's what you feel? What's up? You feel Cavani? Don't know he are up and down whole game and with no service. You feel Cavani going through that? Cavani going through that by anyway. Team sheets. I guess the biggest thing in the team sheet for me would have definitely been the Ronaldo one. Yes, we know that would have we know that he didn't travel with the squad, and we know the conspiracy theorists on the panel. Definitely get into that on that level, right? Um, but I believe that Ralph would have tell him, Jed, you starting this game, you know. And it's either Ronaldo would have get upset because he still feel he in the prime Ronaldo, and he'd have just upset everything and say me coming, you know. The next well, one Basaka again, Robert Dalo. I don't know what went on there, but because Dalo was looking so good, and we didn't really see a game where he was that bad to not even get a look in for the next few games now. So Dalo not seen a sight on the squad for me is kind of questionable in terms of what really going on that side of things. I think outside of that, I think we worked with what we had to work with. Rashford out of the team, all right. Nobody really say well, yeah, Rashford dropped. No, Ilanga deserved to start, and I guess he gave as much as he could have given any position he started today. And yeah, I guess I'll be getting to the performances later on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. And I said this to a couple of people even before the game started, right? When we start with Harry Maguire in our team, we're already down to 10 men. That's the first thing, right? But then I also did a deeper analogy of how Bruno Fernandes does not perform in big games. So we're already started with Harry Maguire. We're down to 10 men. And then we have Bruno Fernandes on the pitch. So we're down to 9 men.
Let me just get this comment here. John Paul saying, if professionals like Cavani reach into the place when what to this place, then what already going on behind the scenes? I am telling you, if you listen to Scott McTominay's post match, he kind of allude to stuff going on. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think the team that dressing room in a good place.
Pulling in its direction.
Yeah, I don't think that dressing room. And I mean, sometimes what could kind of cover it up is when you win, but when you don't lose it, it'll be even more glaring and
I
it'll be
can
real
see
toxic.
like Watford. Like teams
Yeah.
Watford. So I know we're gonna lose today, no? But oh gosh, Watford, we couldn't beat them.
I'm
No.
watching a certain team from our thing beat up Watford today.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to like,
Anybody could
you
beat
know, and share.
Watford, but
You know, let's get the content out to more people, right? Yeah. What you saying, Nico?
no, I said anybody beating Watford. The only team we win beat Watford is Man United.
Yeah, because Watford are in 18th position because they're good in it. It's just
No,
because they're better
I
than we. Phil, team sheets. You had commented on team sheets already? I can't remember.
Yeah, I already said Maguire be starting and Bruno starting.
Right. Right.
Just to comment on Diego Dallo, I don't know what that guy has done to be on the bench so often these days.
I could tell earlier.
I have
I
no
want to
idea.
hear that one. I want to
I
hear
could tell
this
earlier.
one.
Don't get me wrong. Playing a false nine today wasn't a bad idea. I don't mind seeing. I would not mind seeing this starting lineup possibly again, going forward for the rest of the season if it means omitting Ronaldo. So this formation wasn't bad. It's just that the result just has me like, oh boy. But yeah, we move.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we hear this one. We hear this one.
yeah, I really
The
think
city
that
on the city on the spot here.
yeah, I really think that you got it spot on with Ronaldo, right? And Ronaldo with his ego here going and playing a bench game against City. Ronaldo not injured. Even Roy Keane also here buying that injury thing with Ronaldo, right? So wherever Ronaldo not fooling and to boot, do you all know that when Ronaldo was ruled out of the game, Ronaldo jumped on a plane and Ronaldo went to Portugal, right? So I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I guess Ronaldo could get away with that, right? And
You
Wan
sure?
Bissaka.
You sure?
Well, we go
You
see.
sure?
We go see. We go see. Right? And that comment was sarcastic, eh? Because it has certain players that just get away with murder in this team, right? Others, they get thrown at the bus, right? If they don't smile. Wan Bissaka, right, was a club signing for $50 million. And similar to why Harry Maguire plays, he's English and he's a marquee signing, well, an expensive signing. Wan Bissaka has to play. These are instructions.
So then why
When
Shaw
Oliver-
didn't play? So then why Shaw didn't play?
Shaw didn't travel with the team
Shaw had
today.
COVID. Shaw had COVID.
Well,
Shaw didn't travel. Yeah, Shaw didn't travel.
If Shaw had traveled, Shaw would have played today. But I get
Shaw
where
was playing. Nico,
No, I don't know that. I don't know that because
we
tell
playing
us-
too naive. We playing too
I
naive
don't know.
out here.
I
Right?
don't
And I
know.
tell you the politics.
But I wouldn't
politics.
I wouldn't be surprised because how United structure and the whole in a mess. So I
Politics mashing up this club all here.
Exactly,
You
so I
can't
would
tell
be
me
surprised.
it have no reason why. And you say it. Why after Dallo was playing so good that all of a sudden Dallo not in the team and Wan
I would be
Bissaka getting
surprised.
games. You understand what I'm saying? That's not
I
making no
don't know.
sense to me.
I think Ralph have a
Listen.
bigger pants, but still.
Big pants my foot. Right?
Well,
Ralph
if
reached the point.
if that's going on, I would be so happy at in the morning to hear Ralph say he had enough of this. Yes.
Yeah, but you listen.
And he
You
packed the bags
listen.
and he gone.
You listen to Ralph talking in the press conference now. Ralph don't care no more, you know.
Yeah.
Ralph stuttering when it comes to certain questions, boy.
Yeah, Ralph don't
He's
care.
stuttering. This is this is a guy who is well spoken at the age of 63,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
And this guy is stuttering. This guy don't care no more, Nico. It's like, you know what? Let me just finish off this contract, go upstairs and do what I gotta do. Man.
Go upstairs.
Go upstairs?
Boy, throw my frame from this club. But
Go
this
on,
club in a
boy.
mess, boy.
Yeah.
You telling me
If they
I
really
have to
plan-
play Wan Bissaka? I'll check it every game Wan-Bissaka play and Dalot sitting on the bench. What Dalot do to be missing all these games?
I don't know.
Politics. I don't care what nobody tell me.
I don't know if there's something behind the scene
Politics,
with
dog.
that.
Politics.
I don't know.
Because if it was that bad, then Dalot would not even be in the team. Right? And Dalot has been on the bench every game. Right?
I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
I'm telling you, that's the reason why. That's the reason why Dalot hasn't been playing, is because instructions came down. Hey, listen, you see that man there? He's an English player, and we pay $50 million for that player. He had to play football, right?
But then let's say the same thing about Ronaldo. You say Ronaldo have to play. So then who dropped Ronaldo?
Let me tell you something, right?
Yeah,
anytime Ralf try to make a decision, it does have a repercussion. The first time, and I was always supported with facts in Nico. The first time against Brentford, when Ronaldo gets sub off, you see how Ronaldo reacted.
Right.
Did Ronaldo play or miss any game after that?
No, he missed this one.
How much games since?
Yeah.
No, but it's a big game. No, but it's a big game.
No, what my
It's
point
a big
is,
game that
no, my point is, the game when he gets sub off,
don't
Nico,
take me off, then a game like today, he should have played. We should have started.
No, but my point is, Nico,
so much of an influence.
No, but my point is, after that game, how many games were between that game against Brentford and this game against Man City? How much games?
Yeah, but Ralf
that man
reached
played
the
every
point.
game.
Ralf reached the point where he had to drop him,
Right.
and he dropped him.
If that was the issue, and Ralf dropped Ronaldo, because the first time he made the decision to drop Ronaldo, well, to sub off Ronaldo threw a tantrum on the bench, and he played the remaining 15 or 10 games since then. Let's
Because we
see
really
what
had
will
no
be.
choice too, and Ralf just say no. And Ralf just say now that he had enough and he longer played it because to make the choice. So make the choice to play longer. That's a big decision.
And I'm not
That's
denying
a big
that.
decision.
Right. So I
Because you
support,
can still
and
play
this is what I'm
Rashford, yeah.
saying. And this is why I'm saying Ralf reached to the point where he don't care. So if it means that Ronaldo not playing this game, then I will make the decision.
Yeah.
Right? So Ronaldo reacted. So I'm now waiting to see how this gonna pan out. What kind of kickbacks can happen from this decision. And that's what I'm waiting to see.
Yeah.
Nico,
Right, I know.
Nico, our starting 11 is divided into two, or just two categories: the players that are not good enough, and the players that don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree fully with that.
Yeah.
Let me just get some comments, right? Right. The just saying here, let me just assume on the paper talk real, like Ronaldo versus Maguire. How Ralf would tell Ronaldo he had a bench, but on the other side he's starting Maguire after playing so much crap. If that is the case, can you really fault Ronaldo for standing up against bias? What bias? Ronaldo don't have no calls to stand up against any kind of thing because he has been rubbish, right? And I mean, if he get dropped, just how we call it Maguire to get dropped, two of them that is some them other sort out, yes. I telling you, but it exists. It exists. Simeon saying we go talk about that zonal man. Of course. How ineffective it is because you just see it. I see Gundogan. Right, take that ball down and blow past McTominay. Right, and McTominay turn around and jogging it.
Walk in the park, dog. Walk in the park. I already started for Manchester United. Why I gotta waste my energy? Walk in the park.
And then he
Just
come
nice
to
to the
talk.
cameras.
Yeah, and then he come to talk after the game as though he's some big player. Boy, all you just walk off the field now, boy. Just walk off the field and walk in the dressing room and don't talk now, boy. And the audacity of that young man, boy, that universal soul there, there's upset me, that annoy me, you're not good. And other fellas talking as though all the men play with Pirlo and Gattuso and them men and them. Aye. I hear the hair say he go buy out.
Do it.
Hey. They've just saying board picking men in that lineup, Ronaldo not having that. Ronaldo and no the board picking he too. Or? Ralf have his bags packed and waiting for the door at the end of the season. I have no doubt.
I think so.
The just saying here, I agree with Reem. It have things going on that not adding up. Let me be real. Only way the club can be good is if we crash and get sold. Yeah. But right now, the only people who have money who could buy the club is Americans or who? Because we can't get no Russians to come and buy nothing. We can't get no Russians to buy nothing. Yeah. John Paul saying here, so based on what being said, it don't matter who we buy or what coach we bring. Once the Glazers in charge, we have nothing to get.
But to me, the Glazers don't set the structure at the club. They own the club. They finance the club. I think it have people who supposed to be making those decisions that
I would say
maybe we don't have in place.
I would say whoever's appointed under the Glazers, as in like who the Glazers
Like how
knows
Edward
about.
Woodward was.
Exactly. Edward was more for finances, but he
Right.
didn't know jack shit about football.
Exactly.
But remember,
That's
it's
why
have a
he's
board too, eh? It's have a board, eh? And the board will be made up of one or two of the Glazers. So that board is what's, responsible for giving the okay for
But
certain decisions.
they only know about business, Reem.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah,
board,
yeah.
I could know nothing about football. All I know is that, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo is a Manchester United legend. I know he's one of the best in the world. If I bring him back to Manchester United, I know I'm going to be happy, and I know the fans are going to be happy.
Correct.
That's all I gotta know. That's all I have to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. The vendor saying here starting 11 on Tuesday. Is Tuesday we playing this time or well next
No,
Tuesday?
no. Yeah,
No,
next Tuesday.
we ain't playing until the weekend, until next
Yeah.
weekend.
Next Tuesday. So not
Champions
this
League for other teams is this week,
Yeah.
not us.
Yeah. Ian Ramkey Singh, I hope I pronounced your name right. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying we have become a brand name club. Yeah,
Long time,
brand,
buddy. Long time.
Long time.
Sign deals,
And bring out new T-shirt every
yeah.
6 months.
Long
Bring
time,
out the-
buddy.
So earlier, we this term, it seems that like it has become cliche. A game of two halves. And to be honest, it was a pretty respectable first half. You could see that we had a game plan. It was clear, and the players seemed as though they were, executing it properly. Right? I mean, I was impressed. After the game at Old Trafford, where City used us to train for the next game, I was going into it kind of concerned as to how we would react to City. And then considering City coming into the game under a little bit of pressure because Liverpool breathing on their back and they needed the 3 points today. So I thought we might have been able to capitalize on that now. So the game started. It didn't start ideal for us because we conceded after 4 minutes. A real foolish goal, and Simeon had pointed out something and I went back and I watched it. The ball came across. Tellez called Maguire. Look, De Bruyne there. And Maguire stand up in a space. In the space that if the ball were to come across the face of the goal, De Gea was supposed to take that. And obviously, if Bernardo or Gundogan see a empty teammate and he goes square it back and it won't come across the face of the goal. And
I have a customer if it is that is Maguire we putting that goal on, because to me it wasn't Maguire telling Tellez to mark.
No, but look at Maguire's positioning, Nicole.
Yeah, look at
If I'm a goalkeeper and I am looking at the line, I have direct sight of one Basaka, Elanga, and whoever is on the City side, Jack Grealish and Bernardo. I have direct sight of them, right? Maguire was blocking my sight. If Maguire had shifted more to the left, he would have at least had the ability to cut out the ball. But I kind of see where you're coming from, Nico. But any day, Tellez and Maguire should have had better communication.
But not only that,
to me, I thought
Tellez pull
also covered.
But if Tellez pull, because Tellez is only after Tellez reacting, because Maguire was supposed to be on that. Maguire was marking nobody in the Nico.
Yeah, but Tellez was marking nobody too.
Yeah, but Tellez had to
consider who was coming behind him. But nobody.
We didn't put all the blame on Maguire. We just said that there should have been better communication. That's all.
Of course.
And here's the thing. Where does better communication come from? Your captain.
At Man United?
No, but fellas, I really thought, let me get into the first half because I really thought I was pleased, to a certain extent. And I mean, when the expectation to the ground, if, you make two proper passes, you're going to impress me now, and that is what we reach it real bad. But, but,
Terrible.
but I was pleased with what I saw in the first half. We were able to get a goal even though we conceded not too long after. But going into halftime 2-1, you fancy your chances, at least to get some sort of result, and then, well, second half.
Yeah, the
Anyway,
first half,
first
yeah.
half.
Yeah, first half is not like you could have held your head down, right? You could have at least taken a peek out of the hole and say, you know what? That was somewhat a respectable first half, right? Because the guys didn't do too bad, right? Like I had my expectations so low. I expected something of an error or miscommunication from somebody in our defense, right? And so done, right? On both goals. So I was like, you know what? Going into this first half, the game is still there because we're down only one goal to City of all teams, right? We scored on them, which means we're capable of scoring again. But but second half, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nicole, let me look at the positives in the first half.
No, the only positive in the first half, but that may be 1.5. You know, I think Sancho goal was pure quality from start to finish. His confidence to, not shy away from responsibility, not to lay it off to, I think it was Telles running on the outside.
Bruno.
And Bruno, oh yes, it was Bruno running on the outside. And the quality of the finish to me was definitely a bright spot, and definitely would do wonders for his confidence, which hopefully if maybe we have to make the top four, he might be the one to drag us over the line, with how things really going. We do have a striker, a proper striker, we do have a midfield, a quality midfield. Pogba, as I would say, Bruno only doesn't show up in big games, and we have a lot coming up in the next few weeks. So I think he was a bright spot, and I also think the reaction after the goal was positive. I think we had a nice reaction. I think we were confident in what we was doing. You saw that the team was willing to put up a fight and to play football. Not only just to sit back behind the ball, but we were very constructive in how we were going about playing the ball. Again, I think also the expectation over maybe as you would have said the last 4 seasons of City just battering us more or less in possession and not seeing that doesn't mean we played well, but it was different to what we would have come to expect now. And to me I think that was the only pleasing thing. But again, after we scored and they would have scored in the second half, well, again, it went back to the last how much games that we would have played against City. It went back to that type of performance.
Yeah. John Paul saying he had a curveball in the first half. Pep is a proper manager and sorted it out before halftime. That's true. That is so true. And kill it off in the second half. Our main creatives in the team were leading the line. So who was feeding the front men? Scott? Yeah, that's very, very true. Simeon saying here today, I saw little of what Ralph wanted to do and then why he can't. Yeah, not enough legs, not enough situational awareness, and fellas can't pass properly under pressure. That is so true. So true. You know, what I I credited the fellas for in the first half was after we went down, the first goal. You know, we showed some kind of mentality. We didn't. I remember there was this thing Ralph said where, the team just broke down and the whole game plan went to ish. Even though we conceded so early, I saw where the fellas, they picked themselves back up, and they went back and they kind of stuck to the game plan. They tried to press City in certain spaces and certain areas. And then when we got the ball, it was quick transitions. You always saw Jaden and Ilanga looking to make the runs, and the transitions were nice. And even going back to the first goal that we scored, the equalizer, that transition was so nice to see Pogba pick out Jaden, as Nico said, take responsibility, and he found the bottom of the net, the bottom corner. And I think there was some other chances that we created. There was a chance Sancho got that he should have put away, and that was even after City went back in the lead. That could have made it 2-2. So I thought the first half, even though City were the better team in terms of possession and opportunities, we could have go in the half on level peggings now, and as John Paul ideally put it out, Pep is a proper manager. He realized, well, hey, here we're going on, these are the outlets here, all you had to shut down this, you had to shut down that, right? And that was the end of the football match right there. When you're thinking that we will come out and try to better the first half, understanding that what we were actually doing was, paying some kind of dividends. We were creating chances. That City defense showing us that we could score. To come out and have a second half nightmare and disaster like this, I don't know. I don't know. I know we so used to praising Lindelof. I don't think any of our defenders today were good. None.
You see for the second goal, who went with Lindelof there though?
Boy, Phil Foden sent that guy back to Sweden, boy. Yeah.
It's like he closed the eye to her.
Yeah, boy. Were you that man Ralf? You don't know what that man was Ralf with the foot, he Ralf with the head of them.
Yeah, boy.
Hey,
but you talk about Lindelof. That was the first piece of comedy you saw what Maguire do.
Maguire?
Yeah.
Man,
Maguire the ball. Good, Phil.
No, I was saying Maguire nutmeg the ball with his back towards the field, and I was like, what
that's craziness.
Just kick the ball out. That's all you gotta do.
Kick the ball out of touch now. Kick the ball out of touch.
Yeah.
You're back facing, so you don't know who behind you, and you let the ball run through your leg. What you getting? What kind of brain dead thing is that? And these are this is the kind of comedy we had to be dealing with and gifting City chances.
I see how Ralf training against that. That why coaches has come here with the head all full black and nice, and by the time they leave,
gray, white, like this hat, gray like Kareem hat, like Kareem hat, man.
What's Ralf? What she said, I could think you only come for 6 months.
Yeah,
I tell you, Ralf bags pack. I honestly believe Ralf bags pack.
Nico, Ralf is here for what? 2.5, 3 more months, right?
Yeah.
I kid you not. What Ralf is doing is just preparing a bunch of speeches. Ralf preparing a pre-match speech and a post-match speech. That's all he's doing. Yeah. He does not. I don't think he cares anymore. You can tell it from some of his speeches today, boy. But some of these players are not good enough, and some of these players just don't care.
Yeah.
Simeon saying here is how City players just play the whole field and run till the game done. Because you know why, right? Because the ball does do the work for them. And this is my thing about that whole pace and passion, work hard kind of narrative now, boy. City players just work hard, but they're working hard as in working smart now.
Correct.
Because they're properly coached.
Yeah.
They are properly coached.
They know when to start when you look at
when is it trigger for them to start a move.
Yeah. When you look at the kind of distance, the likes of Rodri, Gundogan, and who's the next midfielder? Who played midfielder again today? De Bruyne.
It was De Bruyne. It was De Bruyne, Rodri, and Bernardo Silva.
Right? When you look at the distance they cover, they will cover so much more distance, but it don't look as what this pleased the Man United. Yeah, it doesn't look as though what this pleased the Man United supporter. They want to see our boy running up and down and getting dirty and skating down the Yanazan, and that is pleasing. Whoa! He played for the
but I don't think it's that. No, what I
Nico,
say that I don't think
it's
it's that.
annoying.
I think no. What I'm saying is we so poorly structured within the team that if players don't do that, right, then we would look worse than we are looking. So
But
players
even
had
when
to
you
be
have,
running hard like that, and we would demand that because we saying as fans, but why he not there? But why he not there? He not running enough. He not doing enough. But the structure within the team itself, it's so poor, and the quality of players so the IQ of the players so poor that players had to be trying to make up here and make up there when you know what I mean. The
it
things
broke and it
just
just
all
broke,
over
it
the
just in a
place.
mess. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because I mean, City just make this football look so easy.
Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
I don't know, boy. This is we are miles, we are countries, we are universes
Yeah.
from City, Liverpool, and as you said earlier today, modern day football.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
John Paul saying here, you would swear City play with 22 men on the pitch. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because I have a proper structure in place that triggers where everybody know, all right, time for me to move. You know, for me to sit, for me to make a sprint, for me to overlap the winger. That triggers for all them thing, but we just be guessing all them thing. Wait now, you said, wait now, like, I can make a run here, boy. I can make a run here. Good. Wait, what's that big gap I leave behind? Right? And the opposite team going in that space. And the behind your back in space. So
Boy,
when you get
boy,
the ball in space,
Nico,
then
the
what's gonna
amount
happen
of
when you get the
times
ball in
the
space?
amount of times I
Right?
see Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Scott McTominay just jogging back. Just jogging back. We are being attacked. And they left
Yeah.
so much space open, boy. And there are times where Scott McTominay shifts out to the right to help Wan-Bissaka. Why the hell you leaving Fred in midfield by himself when the
Yeah.
likes of Jack Grealish can't exploit that space? And these are things that must be coached.
Because when you see the amount of space and time these players have against us, they're like, but how we doesn't have that space and time
It's
on
al-
the
it's
ball?
al- it's almost like you already know City is a big is a well drilled and oiled team. You already know that, and you give them space. It's almost like
Exactly.
you are in a 100-meter final, and you are against Usain Bolt, and you know that Usain Bolt is faster than you, but you say here's a head start.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And like the
Uh,
coaches, and he's the coach against us. When they say, oh, just steady, they're going to make a bad pass just now. Just steady. As he push up, just fall, just stay in that space right there. Sure to get the ball. And we just give
and
away the ball.
yeah, and I think because in the engine room, right, we have no kind of quality. We know that all we have in that engine room is industry and work hard.
You just
Well, it's the
yeah,
same
just
thing,
work
but
hard,
in industry and probably some physicality, right?
work hard, but not work smart.
Yeah, and that all you have. So then, even when we had Bruno and Pogba, playing in more advanced roles today, they were suffering. So you realize Pogba had to drop deeper, and Bruno and all had to drop deeper just to try to make things happen. And that is all City wanted because their line could have push up now and they could have hold us at the half line and I with the football player. And them love to joke in them kind of tight
Of
spaces
course.
because
Of course.
them fellas had the kind of guile, they had the finks, and they just moving the ball so effortlessly and we there getting frustrated. Bruno calling for everything. Bruno always. Or let's see when um the referee had to call Maguire and tell Maguire to tell Bruno to cut it out because I mean Bruno, this guy real he I ain't wasting my time. Devin just saying here, if you record this and listen it back, any man could get depressed. Yes, yeah. The state of this club is horrible, and the worst part is there's no easy fix. There's years of this in store, fellas. Way, boy, that's a reality that's daunting.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The win saying here, it's so simple, eh? Yaya Toure basically rounded it up nicely. Barca, Bayern, Real, even City before Pep. They have a structure. So any manager that comes in tweaks or just enhance things that are required. United in shambles ever since Fergie left. We in serious trouble with the money we have. Yeah, yeah. A B4 engine in a Ferrari.
B14 engine, B14
A
engine in a
B14.
Ferrari.
Yeah. So, I mean, let me talk about the substitutions now, fellas, because I know, I was going in on Ralph. Right? And all I was saying, no, it's working. Ting. I was of the opinion that sometimes I was of the opinion that you have to look at the intent behind the substitution. What my plan was behind making this decision. That is what I think, if it go on, well, something else happened at work, that don't mean that the substitution was the right one. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And again, today we struggle to secure the ball, right? And again, the players that you would hope, right, would have given us that kind of ball security. Mainly Pogba, right? He was hooked off after the hour. And again, Ralph went for pace and energy. Pace in Rashford and energy in Lingard. And I forgot those guys were playing,
Yeah.
right? I thought, Phil was saying we were playing with 9. At that point, I thought we were playing with 7. No, I am serious because I
Yeah.
can't remember any meaningful contribution that was made by Rashford or Lingard,
But
right?
you see what Reem said just now, right? We've fallen so far that my United fans are saying we're bringing on Marcus Rashford for pace, and that's it. We're bringing on Jesse Lingard for energy, and that's it. Not to change the game, just for pace, right? That's how far our standards have fallen, man.
Yeah,
My
and
God.
it's so concerning that we taken off ball security, right, for hit and hope.
Correct.
Because that we was doing with Rashford, we were just looking to hit the ball for
We
Rashford to
hoping,
run on to and
We
hope he
hoping
do
we hit them on the
something.
counter, and we
Yeah.
hope something happens.
So it's like, what was we game plan at that point in time, right?
No,
What
the
was the
game plan
game?
out the window a long time. The game plan out the window a long time before that.
Because I just so confused. But right now, City had about 92% possession, right? There's a time,
92% possession.
yeah, there's a time where City had about 599 passes and we had 235. That stat appeared on the screen. I will never forget that stat. And I was like, wow, 599 versus 235 passes, right? So I'm trying to think to myself, Phil Boy, damage that just think damage limitation, right? So I would have probably risked maybe on the Matic to come on, maybe keeping on Paul Pogba. Because right now, if you bring it on Rashford and Lingard, they're just going to chase shadows. Chase shadows. City are so well oiled and drilled under Pep Guardiola that it don't make sense. It don't make sense chasing the ball because if you chase the ball right now, you're playing into City's trap.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Paul saying here, he said the bad sub wasn't bringing on Rashford and Lingard. The bad sub was taken off Pogba. City were already so dominant at that time, so we took off, right?
We took
The
off,
best man to feed the subs that we brought on. Yeah.
And
And I mean, I would have thought, and as we were talking about just now, you lost control of the game. Then let's look at the possibility of what Matic could have offered in terms of retention and security. Him together with Pogba, you don't know how the game could have changed in terms of that dynamic because we needed to take back control of the game. But instead of taking back control of the game, this thing that you've been preaching about, you decided, well, hey, here we're going on. I'm going to bypass the midfield and let's see. And those long balls are so easy. I realize it's so easy for teams to read and intercept. Because even when we were playing Watford last week, them long through balls that we trying were intercepted so easily. So it's like a questioning, Ralph, I'm a questioning as to why the first sub you're always looking to make is Pogba, and your reason is what? Heart rate?
Yeah.
I mean to be
yeah,
facetious, eh?
I was just about to talk about that, boy. Why? Because remember, don't forget, a couple weeks ago we are talking about Pogba just coming back from injury, so the Pogba substitution does make sense. Okay, fair enough. I honestly do not get why Ralph thinks that the first substitution he must make is Paul Pogba these days. I don't. Because Bruno did jack all today. I would have taken off Bruno and put Nemanja Matic and let Pogba play a little higher up, but like more of a, I don't want to say a box to box false nine, but I say, you know what, contribute going back but also going forward as well too, right? But I don't know if Ralph saw the same thing I was seeing, so
Yeah, agreed, agreed. I don't know what's the reason that Pogba is always the first number to come up. You know, most of the times or most of the games before that, we should have even won the game comfortably even before we had to take off Pogba. Um, but that, even if that not happening in terms of like we say like the Watford game, um, where we didn't score, we weren't on top to say, well, all right, you know. I kind of struggling also to identify why um, Pogba will be the first name on the list to get sub now. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and what I'm knowing is I keep seeing a team and a squad that do not appreciate players with ball retention ability. I keep every time I watch the team, even when I listen to the fan base talk, and I listen to even some pundits like they do appreciate players who could hold on to the ball and probably do like what the City players do, right? Somebody was drawing an analogy too, and they were saying, do you think if you bring Kevin De Bruyne into our team and you take Pogba and you put Pogba in the City team, if De Bruyne would look any better than how Pogba looked today? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely Pogba will take time to fit into that City team because he has Man United for so long, right? That I think the player on that pop will take him a while to fit into that system because he hasn't been in a proper system unless he with the French national team. He hasn't played in a proper system for years now. So I think it will take him some time as with all the quality he has. This has might take as long as it took for Mahrez to integrate into the team, right? But I still think it will take a while for Pogba to get into the team. If De Bruyne comes into the team, he going to look like who boy? Who's that player with blonde hair that 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 does look like rubbish? That's how the man gonna look, right? With Donny van der Beek, right? And Donny van der Beek, you say, well, he worse than Donny, which again I don't have a customer about that.
Here now, we're in a real mess. Jody, welcome man. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining.
It's really good night.
So guys, I mean, I want to extend the how to play it, but I want to extend this pain for much longer, right? But I have something last we could probably touch on or comment on, right? And based on your thoughts, even you all in the comments, who do you think to blame? Ralph or the players? Is Ralph failing, or are the players feeling Ralph? Because ultimately, the manager, they'll hold responsibility, for results, even though the players are the ones on the pitch.
Um, I think it's the structure. I think is the legacy that Ralph has inherited, not just the players but the entire structure at Man United. I think to me that is what is to blame, because we are trying to fit a lot of square pegs in wrong hole and trying to just say, well, all right, all go out there and win a football game, without really having that proper identity of what we as Man United want to look at. Was the quality players we need, and we go and get them. Simple as why we not linked with players properly by now. There are teams who have already signed players. There are teams who already signed managers who know who the manager going to be at the end of the season already. At Man United, we don't have a clue who the manager going to be, much less to who are the players that we want. Right? So to me, to blame the manager, it would be criminal. To blame the players, they just get a nice salary. Hey, Man United were made paying my good, and I gone. Cavani, for instance, hey, Man United woman, let me take the money, right? And when I feel to play, I play, and that is what it come down to. Yeah, I don't know how I can blame the coach or even the players.
I always said that, and this was like beginning of the season last year, right? Um, Ole will be fired, and it'll be a blessing in disguise because it will expose some of the players. Lo and behold, look what's happening. Because at the end of the day, when Ole was in charge, all fingers pointed at Ole. So some players could have hid or could have been hidden behind some of Ole's speeches and hidden behind the media and what's not, right? Nope.
Protection, yeah.
Exactly, being protected, right? Nope. Everything is being exposed right now. We've shoved so many excuses under the rug. And when Ole was fired, that rug came tumbling because Ole was holding up a rug, of excuses. And
Yeah.
when Ole got fired, the rug had to come tumbling out with excuses, right? Um, we have to know that some of these players are very limited. And by limited, I mean they're not good enough for the first 11. There are about 5 or 7 players that should not be part of this first 11. I don't want to see them part of this first 11 come the 2022-2023 season. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Dwayne saying here Pogba fits in immediately in Pep team. I believe, but Kevin will look like Jamba Jamba in United.
Or want Sebastian Veron or something like that.
Jody saying thank the Lord that Ronaldo, Marcel, and Donny van de Beek did not play because them was sure getting blamed for the poor performance. I know for sure Marcel was getting slated because he didn't smile. John Paul saying here Ralph has a poor squad to work with. Just look at our centre mid options. That's the answer. They've been just saying here this reality. The new generation will not support Man United because realistically,
With a
will
child,
will a child following football? Okay, let's get this right. Child following football will say yes, boy. Man United as a team, I can see myself supporting. In the next 10 years, we won't be, in the top 10 big clubs in the world. Yeah, and that's a reality,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
this generation is almost as though as a type of bandwagon is now, boy. Them looking for teams that winning now, and I'm talking about the more of the, not the true and true people who come from the area of Manchester, who grew up into that culture. You'll find them remaining loyal, but the global fan base, who, because I mean, let's be real. If Dwight York didn't play for Manchester United, I'm not sure if I might have been there.
Yeah.
And then too,
Might have been supporting Barcelona because Barcelona might have been the big thing.
yeah,
You
right. And then not only that, remember is
Arsenal.
what teams are the top teams is the team that the sponsors will go after and they'll get more airplay, across the globe. So
Right.
so you're right, Avenger, you're right. So chances are, in the next couple of years, if according to how it goes, we could just be recycling, the normal true grassroots supporters.
Yeah, let's be real. Gen Gen Z are people are human beings who are in Gen Z category right now. Will probably only support Man United because they're either from there, their parents forced it upon them. That's two, and that's it.
Or even a third option might be if a player who they like goes to the club.
Yeah,
That
or
might be a reason.
a person that is like from the same country as them, right? That's how we
Yeah,
got the likes of some of the Korean players that with regards to Jason Park,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or Chicharito from Mexico, right?
yeah,
Those sort of players, right?
yeah. And
Yeah.
that's how the support could be. Yeah, go through Nico.
Yeah. And I think as I say, next 10 years, we supported Man United will look like real dinosaurs. You understand? People support them. They don't win nothing. Never win nothing in
Like
about
Arsenal, like
in
Arsenal
about
fans,
20 years.
like
Well, why you
Arsenal
so
fans.
right? It just would it logically it wouldn't make no sense because like I looks every year from all their biggest rivals, all they win no trophy, all the players don't look good, all they don't score more than 1.5 goal a game. What what all does enjoy? You understand? You like real old timers, like some dinosaurs.
Yeah. I remember I was looking through some things. So it had, the badges of teams that would have won, championships in the past. And I remember I was going through that and I think it's Nottingham Forest.
Right.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Nottingham Forest win this?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So as Nico mentioned, that people could be like, man, you win this? Then was good?
Exactly.
That frightening, boy. That real frightening. Fellas, so Dwayne saying here the players take 35% responsibility, the owners, managers, etc. 65 to be blamed. I mean, I will agree with that because Nico
It
kind
hard to show Ralph not the boss in this situation, eh?
of. But I agree with something you say, Nico. You say, them fellas and them, I think Phil touched on it too. Them fellas and them are good, but if them get offered to play for Man United, what the hell?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
And their
So,
agents
guys,
are looking for the best deal.
correct.
You know?
Correct. I telling you, as long as I live, I'll continue to preach. McTominay, Wan-Bissaka, and more should not be playing for my club week in, week out. Them is not the standard.
Agreed.
Mean care if he's skate tackle nobody against Leeds. I won game. Right? Anyway, guys, let me look to wrap it. Let me get some closing thoughts now. Phil?
What's our next game? Spurs?
Spurs.
Yeah, they're just as inconsistent as us, right? So maybe we get a result versus them, but I'm more concerned about the Hurricane and Song connection, right? I at least they have a connection in our team. I don't see any connection between one or two players in our team. It was supposed to be Bruno and Pogba, but that ain't happening, right? So the most we can hope is for maybe a draw versus Spurs. I have already said probably 2 episodes ago or three that our top four hopes are gone and that focusing on the Champions League will be better. So
Yeah, I guess from listening to the voices on the panel tonight, and then the Watford game was the last game, so it's just a recurring theme more or less of depression, you know. And I think that you're kind of losing faith now, because Spurs coming up and you ain't thinking of you beat Spurs, you know. And if you beat Spurs, it's like we beat them by mistake. Like how we end up beating Spurs, boy. They feeling like you're going in the game, like you could win now. But I mean, as it really getting difficult, But yeah, let me look forward to it. Let me look forward to it and see if this team could breathe new life and new hope um, into the fans, because that's what the fan base need right now. The fan base need the team to go out there, give us a good performance, right? And to win games. Good performances one yes because we was getting that without winning the game. So we want a good performance and we want to win games. To really sort of breathe life back into the fan base, because the fan base right now is struggling and we're depressed. Look at my hashtag. I looking to give up something for Lent, and Man United very high on the list. The man I should have given it up before, right? But Man United is very high on the list. For my sanity, yeah.
Yeah. You know, this game, rivalries, for Sir Alex Ferguson was such big things. Even though he lost a few in his time, but it was always a big thing for him. And seeing him sit down in the stands today and watching, City outplay us and embarrass us, especially for the last what?
Reem, at times City were doing the pause and dance. They were
Yeah,
just they were
that's
backing
on.
and
Yeah, and somebody was explaining what that means.
What
It
I mean?
means
um
somebody.
it was a dance that was done that I saw first in the Champions League that was done by a club. Um Poznan. I can't remember where Poznan is, right? But it's just done where the supporters of that Poznan club would back the field and just start celebrating because they were so confident in the team in how they were playing, right?
Okay.
So it was more of I'd have to watch how my team is playing because I'm so confident that they will get the job done. So it's like turn around and just jumping up and down,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
You did also see that City were so confident that you were hearing
Yeah, when they pass
hey,
every pass,
just passing it
every
around with
pass.
consummate ease, man. Training
Yeah, every
session.
pass. Yeah, every pass. And it's like, because we've been at the top in Manchester for so long, they've taken every opportunity to rub it in now, that we're no longer that team. So the Poznan dance, the cheering for every pass that City make over us, the the embarrassment of in the first game making no substitutions, making late substitutions today. It's almost like we don't on the ground, it's still mashing us down now. And City enjoying every single minute of it. And as I was saying before, seeing Alex Ferguson there and watching, his legacy,
Being almost
just get,
tarnished.
yeah, it devastating, And hope is all that we could rely on, that these guys will have some kind of pride going into the other game, because every game for me now is a hit and hope. I have no confidence going into no game. We could play the Soca Warriors next week, and I still not sure which Man United go show up.
Yeah.
Right, and if we beat the Soca Warriors, who in a real mess up I should add, right? It could be a VAR penalty,
That's how bad it. That's how bad it is, boy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like I don't know how to feel about our team going into any game right now, and that's unfortunate. But but be sure that if we beat Spurs, I come back here and again and enjoy it,
But that's what we could do.
So yeah, Dwayne saying here it have too much. It have to get much worse before it gets better. Real talk.
Say much, not just much, but much worse.
Eh, Anyway,
We are
fellas.
in it. Yeah.
Anyway, we's not Man United fans, bandwagon is we's true and true here in the good times and we could be there in the down times as well. Because I believe that, so at some point somebody will get sense and the right decision will start to get made, to see us reach back to that place. Because we had a kind of ambition, So it was nice. Phil, thanks for joining the discussion this evening. All you in the comments, thanks again. Remember, we're on YouTube, so give us a subscription and that now all in All United. Alright, so guys, we don't have to worry about any kind of football until the weekend.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
When
grateful, boy.
when we hosting Tottenham Hotspurs. So let's hope that this week of training, I'm not gonna watch no pictures, I'm not gonna watch no videos. I don't wanna see none of them fellas smiling. I don't wanna see nothing. I just want to see them come out next
Gotta
week
give up
and
something,
perform.
boy. Gotta give them a while, boy.
Yeah. If it wasn't for this, I wasn't even watching press conferences. Anyway, so guys, have a good one. See you all on the next one.
Yeah, man, later.